discussing two sum problem, and we will be seeing uh, different methods to solve it. Also, we will be seeing how we can use this approach to solve three sum or triplet problem. So you guys are able to see this PPT, right? Because I'm just sharing through Chrome. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Abhishek, we are seeing.
Okay. So what does two problem says that if you have been given an array of number and there will be a target will be given like for this example we have 1 5 8 9 and 11 is the given array and target is 17. So we need to find means two element in this particular array so that there's some matches to the target. So find a pair in the array whose sum is equal to the given target. So this is our uh, problem which we have to solve. So I hope the question is clear to everyone, or like I need to explain what exactly question is.
Yeah, Abhishek, it's quite clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's clear.
Okay, Janand. So like let's make this session a bit interactive so that we will be able to think, and we will be able to cater this problem in the interview session also. So if you read this problem, if you understood the statement, what all things comes into your mind, like what all question you will be asking to your interviewer. So if you guys have any means input on that, you can come up with, so that I will be also writing like what all question we can ask to the interviewer once we see this problem.
Yeah, it's Abhishek depend on the interviewer what exactly he want, what complex time complexity or space complexity. Because suppose we see the question, so initially we here we can sort it out in n square easily using the two for loops. This problem can be solve easily, but how can we optimize it? That's the main question here.
uh, okay, so basically we are coming to the solution. What you are explaining is one of the solution, Janindra.
Abhishek, I have one query.
Mhm.
These pairs you are saying that should be consecutive pairs, or these can be any random matlab,
Yes.
positions.
Yeah, so this could be any position. It should not be consecutive. So one
Okay.
of the question could be is the pair what we are targeting is are consecutive, or it is like means could be any index position.
Okay. One more question, Abhishek here. Uh,
Mhm.
the number will always be in sorted or can be any random number?
Yes. Yeah, that is also a very good question that we should be, because there is nowhere written that array is sorted or not sorted, unsorted. So we can get it very clarified at very first stage, because most of the time this comes in a easy problem, and the way interviewer, if he or she gives you this question, they are seeing that what all approaches you have and how you are coming to the solution and how you are communicating things. So yeah, this is a good question that is the array has been sorted or not. So based on that, we can generate our strategies to resolve this problem. Anything else which you guys can think more?
And Abhishek, one more question. So, as I can see, like there are multiple combination which can be coming as a target 24.
Mhm.
So, like on what basis and which one we need to select? Can we ask them? So as I can see, like a 0-3 combination as well as 1 and 3 also will, if you add, it will come as a 24.
Right, right. So means in the problem statement, although it is given a find a pair, but yes, we
Okay.
can ask the interviewer that which pair we are targeting. Are we targeting the first pair which we are getting, or the
Okay.
last pair? But anyway, this is also a valid question. If suppose this statement was not there, that find pair will be only a statement given, then this could be a very good question again. So we need to ask this question also.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
And Abhishek, here in the array, do we have the negative numbers and zero as well? For
Yes.
example, if the zero is there, then the sum will be same, right? So should we include that index?
Yeah, correct. So this is also means if even the zero is there, we should consider that as a valid pair. But yes, this is also one of the question we can ask. I mean, see this whole problem, we will be not solving the problem when we are given any question. We should not target first to solve the problem. We should make friendship with the interviewer. Means this is the way we should go forward. Whenever there is a problem given, we should try to analyze the problem with the problem statement and try to write some sort of what we can say, some sort of input, and based on input we will discuss various outcomes and various queries which we come across. So that way, like means in that case interviewer will also give some hint and direction that where you should go, where you should follow through, like how, what will be your approach to solve this problem. So yeah, there are a lot of very good question has been asked. I means it covers all the question. Only question which I see has not been asked is there is any repetitive or duplicates number are there in the set or not? Like in this array, is there any duplicates are there or not? So this is also one of the question we can ask, because based on that we can even we have to, there will be a follow-up question that if there are duplicates, are we going to consider duplicate indexes or not? So this is also we need to get clarified. Okay. So yes, now I think we had enough discussion on the problem statement and the way we should discuss this with interviewer. We will go to the second slide and see the naive and very basic solution for this problem. The basic will be like means we will be iterating in two for loops, and we will be checking if like means if we will be checking that in each indexes the value at that particular index, if the sum means after making the summation, if the sum is coming as a target, then we will be considering that as part of our result. So this is a this is one of the solution which we can immediately give to the interviewer. This solution we should not write, but we should discuss this solution because interviewer should be in impression that you know at least basic. And if suppose this the further solutions what we are going to discuss is not coming into mind, it will give some time also to think about what all things we can do on top of this approach. So means generally what I my strategy to when I give any interview, even if I know a better solution, I try to start with a basic solution and quickly jump to better solution, not spend much time. But yes, give at least basic solution and discuss about time complexity of that solution and space complexity. So in this case, we can see that there are two for loops and each are we are iterating from start to end. So the time complexity will be O of n square and space complexity will be constant O of 1 we are using. Means this solution is, I'm expecting that this solution is clear, or we can have some question on this. We are okay with this solution, right?
One thing, Abhishek, one thing that we can do here is that you can see, right? If let sum equals to first name plus second name number, and then you are checking sum equals to target, right? So what we can do, we can take the second number and try to find in the second loop. Means what we say, we will subtract the target from the number that we are going to find, and we will try to find that number in the first for loop itself, and then the second number we can find in second loop. So we don't have to do this sum every time in for loop.
Okay.
If I'm able to make it clear, or I can explain again.
Just a minute, let me. Okay. So what you are saying is,
See, let sum line number 44, right? Let sum equals to first name plus second number.
okay.
So this, and then you are checking the sum equals to target. Means you are doing one operation of every time for sum for line number 42, right? For that iteration, you are every time going to make the sum, and then you are going to check the target.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can also do in same fashion, right? Means we can find the first number. Okay, in first loop, that is the another number which is to be find will be the target minus the number of the first value in means in the first for loop.
So this is what you are saying, right? And
No,
this.
these values should be find in first for loop. That need to be find in the second loop.
First for loop, exactly here, what exactly the code I have to write?
Let another number equals to target number, means the target sum,
Okay.
minus first number. Now we can check another number equals to second number.
In this case where I have written this one,
Yes,
another number equal to
second number. And then we can omit this line number 45. I hope it will work, because with this, what we are able to achieve here is that we don't have to every time in the second loop, child loop, we don't have to sum the value every time. Rather than we will check only first number, and then we will present it there, that complement number.
Yeah, this is also one of the approach we can do. Yes. Yeah, I got it. Means there are some tweaks which we can do in this approach also, but as I have said, whatever the solution we will means whatever the solution we will be building, if that solution itself we have better approach, and we should always think to optimize in terms of the time complexity, not in the statements execution. Like, let's put means this, yeah, whatever you have said is correct. Means I appreciate that, but if we are writing the code at the time when we are giving interview, I will suggest, means my approach generally is to write simple code, so that to make the person understand is also easy, and to us to follow up on that and to explain the things and to give a what we can say, that if somebody asks us to give a dry run, that also become easy. So yeah, this is not very difficult what you have said, but yes, try to write simple logic as much as possible.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
And Abhishek, one more question here. This is giving only one pair, not all of the pairs. For example, if I have a one more pair which is results the same target, so it is not returning that particular
Right.
array of pairs. So does this answer meets the question?
This one is only for returning the, means this two sum is just to return a single pair. Right now this code is written to return only a single pair, but yes, I have written further in means my next slides, I have written logic where we can add means we can return multiple pairs. So just this solution is to just give an idea how we can use means how we can start with two for loops and come up with a solution. This code anyway we will be not means this code we will be not writing to the interviewer, or we will be not discussing more on this. But yes, we can just say that we can use two for loops. One will be from we will be starting from first index, and second will be on second index, and then we will be just summing those two values and checking that if that matches to the target. So this solution is just to describe that what we are telling. If suppose if suppose interviewer asks you to write, then go for writing this solution. Otherwise, don't jump into writing into this solution.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this will be just to understand that how we can solve this. And this is very basic and naive approach which we have just learned. We are going to optimize this solution. One way is to okay, let's go one by one. Okay, so another approach is we can create a dictionary where we are going to store, like as like some means somebody in the team has said that we are going to store the complement and check the way we have did it in two for loop. We are going to do the similar approach in dictionary. So what basically we are going to do in this case is we are going to iterate to the array, and we will be maintaining a dictionary for that means for each uh, means for each complement value, or for each index for each element we are going to make a dictionary for it. If you can see the solution, we are kind of enumerating to the array, and we are getting index and item. If suppose the target what we have, means we are computing the complement of it by means from target we are like subtracting the item, and if we get any previous position with this dictionary complement, it means that previously we had some data which has been stored in this dictionary, and now with this complement value we are able to get that data. So to better understand this, I have made a illustration also. So let's say this is our array here, like target is 17. So we are at very first position, like at this index we are here at 0 index. Item at this position is 1, target is 17, and complement 17 minus 1 is 16. At this point of time there is no element in the dictionary, so there is no previous position will be there. Like right now itself dictionary is nil. We from here, if you can see that we are computing the previous position based on the dictionary complement value. Like we are checking if there is a complement exist in the dictionary or not. So the complement we are computing based on target minus item. So here right now there is no dictionary, so there is no point of having any complement. So there is no previous position. Now we are adding this again. Go back to here, and here what we have did is if suppose we are not getting any previous position, we are adding that item into that dictionary with the index position, because we have to give the in the result we have to return the indexes where index positions where we got this some matches to the target. So if we see here now with this right, we after this, like the dictionary will be set with 1 and 0, where 1 will be the item and 0 will be its index position. Now we move to position 8. Then index value will be 1, target will be again 17, and complement to this value, like complement will be 9. Again we will be checking that is 9 is present in the dictionary or not. But since this dictionary only contain 1, so it will return nil to us. So previous position is still nil. We move again, we reach to 5. Here the index position is 2, item is 5, target is 17, and complement is 12. We again check that is this 5 is present in this complement dictionary or not. So we didn't get that. We again move that index to 11. And here, like say same in the loop we are doing that. We have complemented, we calculated the complement, it come as 6. We again check that is the 6 is available in the dictionary, and we have seen that there is no 6 in the dictionary, so we didn't get any previous position. Finally we move to 9, and here like when we move to 9, we see that complement value is 8. Since 8 is present in my complement dictionary, this is one of the solution. I can say that yes, this is one of the solution which I had got. If suppose I have to write a logic to continue, means if for this means for this above code I have written logic to continue. Just a minute. So this we have got only one solution for this situation, but yes, the code has been written where we can continue this, continue doing this, and we will be getting solution for all possible pair. Also, like once I have got one solution, what I'm doing is the complement value I'm removing from the dictionary to make sure that we will be not using the same indexes for other solution, because we have to make the pairs which are unique. So if you see this line, I have written also one logic to remove the value for that complement. So this is one of the approach which we can discuss, and we can, if interviewer is happy with this approach, we can write the code. So looking at this solution, it means if you guys have any doubt, we can discuss on this.
One thing I will say, like the dictionary always be unique, right? Means the key of dictionary will always be unique.
Right.
And we are saving complement as a unique or the value.
Right.
Then what is the point of removing that?
This is like if suppose, yeah, there is no need as such, but because we are considering that all the element in this particular array are unique, so that way we don't have to remove. But if let's say let's say there are element in the array which are means if suppose there are elements where we have duplicates in the array. then in that case, if this appears, then we have to cater that also. Means that will get resolved.
Okay. I haven't tried that, so I cannot say or comment on this. But okay.
Okay. We will also see like how to handle duplicates. But yes, if we are only considering right now, if the element in this particular array are unique, we will be not that statement is itself not required. But in the next coming slide, we will see how we can handle duplicates also.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we have any doubts on this? Okay. So I had made this. So if you guys can tell me about time complexity and space complexity, what will be the time complexity and what will be the space complexity for this solution?
Time is order of n,
Hmm.
and dictionary size, it should be order of n because you are storing the elements.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah,
So
both will be order of n.
right. So right now we have this time complexity is order of n, and space complexity is also order of n. So what if we have to optimize the space? Means if let's say somebody asks you what will be your strategy to optimize the space. So let's talk about that also. That solution also cover if our array is sorted. So what we are going to do? So what we can do is that means right now all the element in the array is unsorted, so we can sort the element. So time complexity, there is a trade-off between time complexity and space complexity. Means if we are going to sort the element in the array, the time complexity will be O of n log n. But in that case, we will be able to optimize the space complexity that we are going to discuss. So with two-sum with sorted array, means if we have been given a sorted array, so how we can means solve this same problem like what we had discussed, that we have to find two element with whom target is means whose sum matches to the target. So just to let's see how we can do this, then we will see. So this is a sorted array 1, 5, 8, 9, 11. So the what this approach we can do is two pointer approach, we say it. We put one pointer at very beginning of the array and one at very end of the array, and we will be computing sum from 1 and 11, like whatever the value at this start and this end contains, we will be adding these two values and we will be checking the target with this value. So here if we see that 1 plus 11 is 12 and this is less than 17, like our target was 17. So if the value is means if the sum is less than target, we are going to increment the start. So now we have moved to 5. Again we had computed the sum and it seems like still the sum is less than the target. Again we are going to move the start. Now start reached to 8. We computed again the sum and we found out that sum is now greater than 17, means sum is greater than target. In this case, we are going to decrement the end. We had reached to this position, end has reached to 9. And here we again computed, and we have seen that sum for these two element 8 is and 9 is coming as 17. We got the solution. We got one solution. We can append this in our result array. Okay. So coming to this same what we had did means here I am not returning the what we can say that I am returning the single result. So here we can take two pointers to variable. One is start and one is end. We will do this iteration until start and ends doesn't crosses each other. We will not even check for like if there is equal to condition. We are not going to check it for even equal to values also, because we need to get distinct value. So we will just see that start is less than end, means still the start is pointing to somewhat left to the end. In that case, we will be continuing with our iteration. Yeah, means I had used sum here, sum as num start plus num end. And again, like if sum equal to target, means in the result index, result 0, this is actually I had used to store the index position. I stored 0 position with start and 1 at end, and return the result. So this will be one of the solution which I had got at the very beginning, where these two condition matches, like I got the target for two indexes. If suppose sum is greater than target, we are decrementing the end position, and if sum is less than target, we are incrementing the start position. So I hope this solution and this approach is clear. If you guys have any doubt on this, we can discuss. Okay, so here if we see that since for this only for this solution, because we have got an array with sorted element, so the time complexity will be O of n, and space complexity will be O of 1. But if suppose we means we have to write a code where we had written, we had said that time complexity will be O of n and space complexity of O of n. But when we have to sort this and come up with this solution, obviously the time complexity will be O of n log n, and the space complexity will be like where we have achieved something, like we had reduced it to O of 1. Okay. This is very similar, like here to some sorted array. So what is the difference? Okay, I think I have just copied pasted here. Okay, so similar to what we had did, we had stopped at that particular position where we had got one solution. Here we will be just appending the result into the result if we got any solution which matches to target. So we will be kind of getting multiple indexes which we will be for which we will be getting the target as a sum. So this is very similar to what we had discussed previously, but this is just to, if suppose somebody asks you to return all the result, then we will be returning this. Means, do I need to discuss this, or it is okay to continue?
Yeah, it's fine. We can continue, I think so.
Okay. Okay.
But Abhishek, suppose we are having the duplicate elements, then we
Yeah,
can handle it.
No. These solutions are only for unique element in the array.
Yeah,
So
okay, that's fine.
okay.
Okay.
For that
Okay, so continuation to this to some problem, we have unique triplets problem also. This is just a use case of to some problem. So we will discuss this also. So as per the statement, problem statement is given an array of unsorted number, find all unique triplet if it that add up to 0. So what is given to us is, let's say there is three array, means there is an array with -5, 2, -1, -2, -2 and 3. So we have to find three element in this array, unique triplets, means those elements should be not like repeated values among themselves, and the sum to these triplets should come as a 0. Like if you'll see here, -5, 2 and 3, if we sum it, it will become 0. Similar to this, -2, -1 and 3, if we sum this, the sum will become 0. So if we can discuss about various approach, then it will be easier for us also to identify the solution. So let's discuss what will be the naive solution for this. What is our strategy to means if we see this question at straightforward, what comes to our mind and how we can approach it. So if anybody has any suggestion on that, they can pitch in.
Initial solution is Abhishek, begin with the three loops,
Mhm.
and by doing the sum, it can be sorted out.
Yes.
But complexity will be n by 3
NQ.
n cube.
Big of n cube. Yeah, true. Yes, that will be at least one thing we will be discussing. If suppose this question comes to us for very first time and we don't know any solution about it, we are not able to, means things are not striking, at least we should speak this solution immediately, that we could have taken three loops, each starting from one will be starting from 0, another one will be starting from next to what I will be starting. The way we deal generally three, um, means three for loops. So this solution I had already written. I didn't get chance to test it, but I am assuming that this will work. So yeah, so this first what we can do is, in this naive approach also, I had sorted the element so that each element will be when I will be doing some, means I will be picking the indexes uh, one after the other. So this way, like because also we have to handle the result, element should be unique. We can only bypass the element, or we can ignore the element if all the element which are in the array will be sorted. Only then we can say that okay, this element I have to bypass, because the current I value or the current value is already have the same element. So for this reason I have sorted the array. After sorting, let's say this will be becoming like -2, -1, no, -5, -2, -1, 2 and 3. So what we will be doing, that we will be placing three pointers, one at 0, one at next to I value, another one will be next to the j value. And if suppose this if by any chance the I, like here we are also handling duplicates, so if by any chance the previous I value if we have is similar to what the current one, then we will just continue that. So if suppose it has like if I will just write the sorted form first, -5, -2, -1, 2, 3. So let's say if -5 is one more input is there. So first time, because I had put the case like if I is greater than 0, because if I will not do this, anyway it will throw exception. So for first time I will be pointing to this, j will be pointing to again this, and k will be pointing to this. But next time when we will be doing this again, so I will be not considering this 5 again for my next solution. Means for my next triplet I will be not considering this 5, because I had already in my previous previous I value, I already have the same 5 value. So I will ignore this 5. I will move to next I position. So in the second iteration I will be using this as my I instead of using this. That way we will be able to ignore the repeated values in our triplets. Does it make sense, or it is?
Yeah, got it, Abhishek.
Okay. So similar means this is very straightforward. Then once we have three element, we kept hold of 3 element in the array. We just add them and see if those 3 will compute to 0. If that is the case, I'm just appending those element in the my result array. So this is one of the solution which we can discuss for solving this problem. Yeah. Is there any doubt on this? Okay. So let's move to other approach, which is better. So right now we had learned that here, like we have learned that if we have to, let's say we have been given an array and we have been given a target, we are able to find that means we are able to find 2 elements which matches to the target, right? With this approach. So using the same approach, if suppose means if I will be saying that I will be picking one of the element in the array, like let's say I have picked 1 and I did minus to this -1, and I will say that okay, just find out any 2 elements in the array which sum to -1, then that actually becomes my triplet sum to 0, right? Just to make thing more clear, if let's say I'm saying that x plus y plus z equal to 0, in spite of saying that, I can also say that x plus y is equal to minus z, right? Yeah, I can say that just to the way we have did it is y plus z is equal to minus x. So it matches to the same problem that where this become target, this minus x now represent target, and we have to find 2 elements in the sorted array and which matches to the target. So if we have solved this problem previously also, we will be easily able to solve this triplet sum problem, because now we have to use the same technique what we had used previously, and we will be able to get all the triplets which actually sums to 0. Is this still, if somebody have any doubt or somebody have any confusion, we can discuss more on this.
Abhishek, can you repeat it? Not clear.
Okay, Janendra. So
No,
basic.
actually, x plus y plus. Actually, we are. But
Hello.
x plus y plus z equal to 0, right?
Yeah, Janendra. X plus y plus z is equal to 0. Your voice is bit low.
Now is it fine?
No, it's still very low, but yeah, you can continue. I will try to make out.
Can you explain the last statement? X plus z equal to minus x minus target.
No, not minus target. We are saying
Hmm.
that minus x is now my target. If suppose
Okay.
minus x is my target, and I have to find 2 number which sums to this target.
Okay.
Now, yeah, so in two sums problem, what we were doing, we were doing that x plus y is equal to target we are finding, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hana? So now what we had did is, in this problem, what we have did it like, just we have a y plus z, we are saying it as minus x, and minus x is now
Mm-hmm.
become a target.
Okay.
Okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Virendra. Okay, right? It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so like what we had did previously, we are going to do the same thing here. Uh, Only thing what we hadn't considered there is, means we hadn't considered the possibility of having duplicates there. But in this case, we are also considering, if the array has any duplicates, we are not going to return any sort of triplet which contains duplicate values. Okay, so similar to what we have written previously, to sum with all possible solution in sorted array. So same function I had written, I had made some minor tweaks here. If we can see this, where is that? Okay, so here just we are kind of passing the numbers, the array we are passing the target. Inside this, we are setting the start value that I had actually passed it as an argument. End will be anyway, will be nums.count. Result will be, again, I had passed it as a inout parameter. So for those who are not into Swift, inout means that we are passing it as a kind of reference. If we change the value inside this function, the from where it has been called, it also get modified. So I hope this is clear. So if we see this function to sum with possible solution in sorted array, here we are kind of passing the same number array, start I am passing, target I am passing, and result what we kind of did there as a return, I just used it as a in-out parameters, so that I will be using this function for all sort of solution. Okay. Okay, so now here, like similar to what we have did, we are kind of from start to end, like in the we are iterating from start to end, from means kind of left to right we are iterating, and we are calculating the sum based on start and end, and if sum is equal to target, it means that we have reached to a solution. If we have reached to the solution, we are appending that solution in the result. Means whatever three things we are appending, one is minus of the target. Why we are appending minus of the target? Because as a target we are kind of passing it as a negative value. Means if you see here, I had means I target I will be passing as a negative to this array start. So I just make it minus target, num start and num end, three values. I had make a solution and appended it into the result. If I have got any solution, I will be incrementing the start and end. Okay, this part is to handle the situation where is there any duplicacy is there. So how we are dealing it is, if while the start is less than end, means as long as like we have some gaps, or there are two elements, means we haven't crossed each other, like left and right haven't crossed each other, we are continuing in the loop, and we are checking if the start num start and num start minus 1 are equal. We are sort of incrementing the start, and similar to this, to handle end side also we are doing this, means if num end is equal to num end plus 1, we are decrementing the end. So this will take care of our duplicate values. If suppose similar to what we had did in previous approach, if sum is greater than target, we are decrementing the end, and if sum is less than target, we are incrementing the start. So that way we for this this same function I had reused to find out my triplet solution. Now we will discuss also how we had used this solution. So first thing, because the given array is not sorted, so I kind of sorted the array. I had sorted the array. Second thing is that we have to return all the possible combinations. So I had made means integer array of array, means all triplets we are going to return. Okay. So here, if you see that from 0 to count minus 2, array count minus 2, we are doing this because we need three elements. So I can only move my start to means last to second element, so that next will be there will be, if there is a possible solution, then there are two more element will be besides it. So I cannot move to array of count minus 1 or something like that. I have to move it until minus 2 only. Coming to this, yes, again we had handled the case where like duplicacy is there at the start itself. Like if suppose array start and array start minus 1 are equal, I'm not going to do anything. I will be continuing. Okay, so once like I had got start, I will be calling this to some all possible sorted array with my array start will be my so now my start will be the start plus 1. Like right now I am at start position. I will be asking to find out all possible solution from start plus 1 to end. Target will be, as I had said previously also, the target will be minus of this particular start, the same way like what we had did x plus y z. So x is pointing, start is pointing to x position. I am asking my this function to return me the result for all possible solution from start plus 1, and array start become my target, minus of array start become my target, and I'm passing this result to get all things appended here. That way we will be able to resolve this, means we will be able to achieve this triplet sum problem converted into two sum problem. So if you guys have any doubt on this, we can discuss more, because I hadn't created illustration of this. I didn't get time much, but yeah, we can discuss right away that if you have any doubt on this.
Abhishek, so our meeting is about to end. So if possible, can we discuss this on another meeting?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
I'll
sure.
schedule one more meeting. How do you want? Like, should I create right away, or should we schedule it for some other time?
If somebody has any doubt on this, we can means we can create a meeting. Otherwise, we can